Hello, I'm Sam Crow. As you know, we're doing videos for HOCHANDA TV, so I'd like to welcome you to my craft room. So we're getting the GelPlate out for this one, and the Claritystamp dies. I'm using the Victorian dies. On here I've used the Edwardian, but I also like the look of this in the Victorian as well. So what we're making is just a card with a frame. Really, it's just an excuse to make a frame and to have a little bit of a mess about with the stamps as well. And it can be mounted and used as a pop card. So let's get on with it. So I'm using my stamps, my overly excited stamps. This is what they look like when you get them. This is what the stencil looks like when you get them. This is what mine look like when I've been playing with them for a little while. So I just thought I would share that with you. And I'm using the Gel Press large plate, and again this is what it looks like when you get it, and this is what it looks like after I've been playing with it for a few years. So but it still works, it works fine. So let's get on with the task in hand. So what I've done, I started with this frame. So I've got a piece of Clarity stencil card and I've cut it in half, and this is what you get. And then within that I've used the largest die and cut out the centerpiece. And then from the piece I cut out, I cut that out again to get the centerpiece for the stamping. So it's easy as that, and all we're doing is we're taking this frame away. There's no wastage whatsoever. So that's how I got my pieces together. And this project's about having a little play with your paints. I'm using the multicolours, Viva multicolours, and I'm using the acrylics as well. I'm just mixing them up a little bit. On the gel plate, I want a different colour this side than I do this side, because on the frame I want to slightly separate it. Can you see that? That's just like, this actually is a print after this print here. So I'm keeping some yellow over there and that side's all blue. I want it slightly separated. So I'm doing that on purpose. So first of all, let's just get some paint on here. I'm going to do the dark side first. And this is what I did with it. Because these paints are so versatile, and you've got the thin the thin nozzle, so that you can just direct it where you want it, really. My daughter has got some of my paints in her room, so I haven't got the paints I was going to use. I'll just go with what I've got here. So I'm just putting that in the middle there, like this. This might work, it might not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's just another novel way of getting a print, really. Then I'm going to put a little bit of blue in there as well. You can actually do this, and if you leave it a minute in between each layer, you can actually make little blobs like this, and I love doing that. And they'll stay there, they'll dry like that if you want them to. I've only got one go at this, I've only got one frame, so I think what I'll do first is bring in a piece of card, and because what I want to do now, I want to flatten this out, so I'm going to bring that in and flatten it out. It just gives you, look at that, it gives you a little bit of interest. I love that, like that. So then that's what I was doing, and then when I was messing about, so I wanted to show you that. And then what I did next was I just slightly spread that out. So I got some of the dots. In fact, I think I'll stick with this. I'll stick with how I did it. I'm just picking up some of the dots like this. So there you go, and then come back on the frame. And every single one I'm doing is completely different. So there, you can see we're getting a little, look how different that is. So then what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. I don't want it just dots. Oops, that's a lot of yellow. And take some over there. And then I'm going to just put this in a little bit. I want a little bit more of a mottled colour now on this side. Not going quite according to plan, but let's see what we get. I like to work on card that's already cut out to the shape it's going to be, because you know which bit you're decorating and how. See, look, I know now what I'm getting there, so I I couldn't pre-plan that if I just did a full sheet all the time. I'm going to put a little blob in there. I'm just going to touch it with my finger, and there you go. I quite like that, so I'm going to leave that like that. So on this side, this is a lot brighter than the other one I did, so because, like I say, my daughter's got my she's pinched all my pinch. She's been crafting today. She never normally crafts. So I'm just going to put this in like this. I'm just going to have this one. See how I just want it looking different to that side. So I can feel where it is round about. So I'm just going to put that down round about there and just tap that down. Because obviously we want to leave ourselves some areas to decorate with the stamps and that. So there you go. So, but you can distinguish between the two sides, can't you? And that's the main aim of this. So next we could do this having a bit of a dry, really. You can see it's very wet. I might work on this one for now. So because that is too wet, it is. I was hoping I could work straight onto there, but it'll all go mottled. So if you can see, I did the same thing on here. But see where that was the blue and then the yellow was inside the paint on top of it, and that spread out there, and that looked really nice. I think on one time when I tried it, I sprayed it with water and that made it spread more. There's lots of different ways you can do this. So this is what we're going to work on for now, and I'll put this one aside, and I might put that on my Facebook later on to show how I finish that one. I only want a little bit anyway. So I'm just going to spread that little bit. I do like to stamp with paint on top of paint. I just think it gives you a better coverage, really, which is why my stamps look like this. So I'm going to pick out the, yeah, I'll go with the dots. So I'm going to just putting it on one side like that. I'm just coming in this way. I just want them on that inner bit there. Press that down there. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just looking for just a little bit of an edge like that. So let's come in on this side. I'm not going to make it really symmetrical, I don't think. Our centerpiece, it's going to have the signature on like this. I love using this signature. Because it's got thin lines, it might get a little bit lost in the paint. So I'm going to do it in the ink like that, just coming over the corner, just a nice little hat. Let's just do a little bit of, I'll put a little, one of my little I call these my sentiment blocks, because you can, if you stamp these, then they're ready to go with a little verse from, say, Leonie's word sayings or Barbara's word sayings. So I'm going to put another one there coming in. So I'm tempted to put another one actually, but let's have one. I don't want to hide that. That's a really nice bit, so I'll just have one coming out of there. Because it's all about words, it's about the signature, this one. So let's leave it at that for now. I'll leave it there for now because I'm conscious of the time. Could stamp away all day. So the good thing about videoing from home is if you get a lot of finger marks like this, you can cut that bit out and you can edit it and you can whip in a newly cut one just like that, and you didn't see that happen, did you? I'm just going to stamp on here 3 times like in here. So there you go. So I'll start in the middle. I love this signature stamp. This one was actually added to my my set by Lucy. She did this one. I love it. Hi, Lucy. One little thing I forgot to do. I wanted to put some little squiggly lines on here just to bring it in. Coming over here. One down there, just to decorate a little bit more, make it look a little bit more mixed media-ish, a bit more messy. Oh dear, dear. Right, and then with this paint, I I just did a couple of little swirls to finish off, so just literally drawing with this. Just a couple even there. Do one. There you go. I'm just gonna right, I'll use my flat brush, and I'm just gonna come in between where the words are and just paint it. Just rough. I want it to look rough. This is a Clarity stencil flat brush. I love these. I use them for everything. And this, see how it just gives you that rough look, and when that dries, it looks even better. It looks really arty, even though you haven't really done anything. So, and then with this, I'm just going to write in the signature. And what I do, I just go up and down as if I'm actually writing a signature like this with my little brush. There you go. And then I'll put in a little bit of blue. My favourite blue as well in these colours, apart from the light one, my daughter seems to have hidden that somewhere. So the joys of working from home when the kids are home. There you go. And then I'm just doing that. And then we just want a little bit of an edge, don't we? So because this is, we've got the dark blue in there, I'm going to pick up the darkish blue. And I'm just gonna tap the edges while it's wet, look. And that just brings it in. And see how it seeps in because the card's wet. Another thing you can do is you can get out your Inca Gold granite, which I love to use. And what I love this, I love using it to separate things. Like if you've got two pieces of card coming together, it gives you that thicker edge so that it's obvious that they're separate, even though they can be sat together, if you see what I mean. Like say if you put them on top, if I did it in that edge and that edge there, these would jump out even more against each other, which is what I want. So just literally dabbing it. It's great to do it while it's wet as well, because see how it seeps in. So some corners it's too thick and others it's thin, and I kind of like that. I like that it looks messed up like that. And of course I am rushing as well, so I don't want to make the video too long. There. So that makes it nice and grungy. I like that look. So then I'm going to put a little bit on here as well. This is wet, so I'm going to have to be careful of that. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the inside. So I did do this in one of my other videos. I don't know if you've seen it or not yet, but so I'll just do half just to show you. I literally just get my finger inside. This card's thick enough to be able to do this with. We're nearly there. You can make it smaller, but I like it this size. I like using this, and I like using it with these dies because you just get a nice frame to decorate. And I love just decorating frames because they're small, they're neat, there's not too much to fill in, so you don't feel daunted by any of it. So it's nice to do. So there you go. So I'm going to do that. On this one, I coloured the background. I didn't like that. I thought it looked too messy. On this one, I would just put some brads through there, so that literally it's stuck on by brads. And then just put this on, put your sentiments inside. But on the front, where my boxes are, I'll use some of Leonie's sticker words as well. So I'll just pick some out. There you go. Perfect. Keep calm and carry on. And I'm ripping it because it doesn't matter. Sometimes I cut them, I want it to look a bit rough, so I'm just roughing it up a little bit. So go in there, keep calm. And carry on. Let's have a look. So carry on up there. There you go, and bring it around the corner. So there you go. So that's just a quick look at how I would approach a card like this. It doesn't have to start as a card. It can be something that you decorate and make into a card. And that's what I like to do. So there's the two of them there. And then I've got a spare frame to play with. So I hope you like that project. Thank you for joining me in my craft room via HOCHANDA TV. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.